You wake up, grab a coffee, and write down exactly what you're going to accomplish. You feel a surge of natural energy and a clear, sharp drive to conquer the day. Cut to 6 hours later. You are lying completely motionless in a dark room, staring into the cold blue glow of your phone. You haven't moved, your to-do list is untouched, and as you stare at the ceiling, a heavy weight of shame sets in, as your internal monologue loops the same question. Where did that morning motivation go? That sudden crash from high ambition to total paralysis is a universal experience. It is the exact intended outcome of a hidden architectural system. To understand what happened to your drive, look at the device in your hand. The interface of a modern smartphone is engineered using the exact same psychological mechanics as a Las Vegas slot machine. In this ecosystem, the tech companies operate as the casino house, optimizing for maximum time on device, while you play the role of the unwitting addict pulling the lever. Trying to beat this system with pure willpower rarely works. The design bypasses your conscious decision-making entirely by targeting the deepest, most ancient survival mechanisms wired into your brain. So when you feel stuck in bed, unable to move, you are not intrinsically lazy. You are being actively manipulated into a state of physical inaction. The mechanism driving this manipulation centers around dopamine. We often mistake dopamine for the chemical of joy or pleasure. In reality, it is the brain's seeking chemical, the biological fuel that creates anticipation and pushes you to exert effort. In early human evolution, dopamine was the biological imperative that kept us alive. It drove our ancestors to endure the difficult work of foraging for berries, hunting for wild game, and building winter shelters. Because dopamine is the engine of human effort, if you compromise that specific chemical system, all meaningful forward progress in your life halts. The way modern apps compromise that system relies on a neurological concept called the reward prediction error. This is a mathematical framework describing how your brain calculates the difference between the reward it expects to get and the reward it actually receives. This chart shows how your brain handles predictable outcomes. When a reward is guaranteed, like knowing exactly what a piece of fruit will taste like, your dopamine release remains flat, maintaining a stable baseline. But when you introduce unpredictability, when you don't know the size, timing, or emotional impact of an upcoming reward, that baseline shatters. The brain floods the system with a massive peak of dopamine to heighten your attention. This variable reward dynamic is the exact physical action of the infinite scroll. Every time your thumb swipes up, you are rolling the dice. Will the next video make you laugh? Will it make you angry? Or will it just be boring? By weaponizing the reward prediction error, the infinite scroll transforms a simple communication tool into a behavioral trap. It holds your dopamine hostage, keeping you swiping in search of the next hit. The physiological fallout of these extreme digital dopamine spikes is severe. The human brain cannot sustain such heightened chemical states for hours on end without consequence. To protect itself from the flood of stimulation, your brain initiates a defense mechanism. It raises the baseline threshold for what registers as rewarding, effectively numbing your entire system. Compare the lightning-fast delivery of that digital dopamine against the slow, friction-heavy reality of your everyday tasks. Folding a pile of laundry or writing a paper requires sustained effort for a delayed, mild payoff. Your brain calculates that contrast. It rejects the slow, real-world progress because the digital alternative is infinitely faster and more efficient at delivering rewards. Looking back at that dark room from this morning, the picture changes. You lying there, unable to move, is a direct symptom of a highly engineered trap. Consider the sheer asymmetry of this conflict. It is your single, tired human brain pitted against billion-dollar conglomerates that employ thousands of engineers, optimizing solely for attention extraction. Recognizing this systemic manipulation gives you clarity. It is the mandatory first step required to break the cycle of shame and regain your physical agency. The actionable solution to this is the 48-hour dopamine fast. This is a biological starvation protocol required to reset your hijacked baseline. This timeline graph shows exactly what happens during the fast. In the first 24 hours, as the digital spikes cease, you will experience psychological withdrawal. Your brain will endure agonizing boredom as the artificially high threshold slowly degrades. But as you enter the final 24 hours, the newly lowered threshold takes effect. Because the brain is starved of extreme stimulation, normal, low-stimulation tasks suddenly trigger natural motivation once again. Executing this reset requires the physical act of severing the digital tether. You make the conscious choice to step away from the device, place it out of sight, and re-engage with the tangible world. The digital world is engineered to make you a passive spectator. Reclaiming your biological baseline is the ultimate act of taking back control over your life.